Greetings Vikings, I'm Chevalier, and a big welcome to the initial situation and guide of Denmark, part 2, the expansion guide, and how we should expand as Denmark. This is before Denmark is a mid-level country, mostly to the lower part of mid-level, I would say. As difficulty, expansion, it's quite easy to pull off, although Norway and Norway and Sweden are gonna pose some difficulties. They're not gonna pose that much of a difficulty in integration. So let us start by telling you how to finish off these rebels here. Simply wait. As you can see here, they're moving to Belengue. Just up your stuff, or just don't do it. Don't lower it. February is gonna go well. You can actually go like this, so you won't waste cash. Then pull it off like this next month. Just move it to Belengue. Move your troops here. When they move over, they're gonna die. You should have you don't have a general from the States. You don't have a general from the States, unfortunately. So you might actually want to roll one if you want, although they don't have any shock value, which doesn't matter. At the same time, you can make this guy into a general, as I said before in the previous part. It's risky, but you can still pull it off. Right now you can have a consort as well, so again, you can pull it off. Now, let us continue. So, you have finished up the rebels. Improve relations with Sweden and Norway, mainly with Sweden, so that you can keep up your, so you can lower their liberty desire. That's gonna be really important as well. Then focus on Holstein. Then focus on Norway. Before you can actually want to annex Holstein, make sure that Sweden is under control. Make sure you have some Diplo rep as well from missions, for example, or any other modifiers that can help keep Sweden down. A bigger army, although you can build it off, a bigger ship is gonna be helpful as well, and alliances are gonna help Sweden, help you keep Sweden under control. Now, for your expansions, you can actually take the mission here for Danish trade if you want to. It's gonna give you some claims, basically on Danzig, as well as Novgorod. To get on anything else. And Lubeck as well. So Lubeck is here, though you're not gonna be able to attack Lubeck. Now this is gonna give you some missions on the Teutonic Order and on Novgorod. My recommendation is basically kill them as fast as possible and take as many lands as you can. Simply because once this happens, once they're weakened, Poland might attack them and kill the rest of the Teutonic Order, and Novgorod might be attacked by Moscow. So it's a race between killing Novgorod and the Teutonic Order as fast as possible. Moscow might delay to some degree depending on the allies that Novgorod gets, so you should focus on the Teutonic Order. Before you actually get the mission, you should try to get another claim on Memel, and as many claims as possible, then declare war, then move over to Pomerania to stop, or whatever allies that you want to get. My recommendation here is get an alliance with Pomerania as well, so you can feed, so let's say, these two lands here to Pomerania. It simply will cause a bottleneck in Poland, basically. Sorry, here, let's look at this, and Poland is not going to be able to move it. So as you can see here, they just want to Chola, basically. So if you ally them, you're going to only be able to feed them to Chola and not Kelmo. But this will help you by simply stopping Poland from expanding. An alliance with Brandenburg can also be available. You can actually feed Neumark to them as well, which is gonna help. And later on, you can actually release Teutonic Order from Neumark as well, because he's gonna have a core, and that's gonna help help you release nations back to the Teutonic Order from Poland, and that's gonna help you even more when you actually become the HRE Emperor. Little small reminder, but you'll need to have Danzig and Memel, because you need more trade power in this node to get more cash into Lubeck. Although, as you can probably see, Lubeck, you don't have that much control even Lubeck. You'll want to take East Frisia as well. So fabrication on East Frisia should be done as well. But later on, you should focus first on the Teutonic Order and Novgorod. So after the Teutonic Order is dead, you should focus on Novgorod and then Livonian Order. whatever you do with Novgorod, it's up to you. My recommendation is not to feed them to Sweden, because it's gonna be problematic, simply because feeding them to Sweden is gonna increase Sweden's power and it's gonna increase the liberty desire. At the same time, if we feed them provinces from Novgorod, they're gonna lose their liberty desire. So it's a double-edged sword. If they go over a certain limit of development, which I'm not quite sure, if I look at Sweden, does it say? Current development. Size of army, so they do not say current development, unfortunately. Income, legitimacy, no. No, they don't have, unfortunately, so you cannot actually see it, but you can go into the ledger here if you want to check it out in more detail. But after some point, they're gonna get the milos because they have more like, I don't know, 150 development, anything of that sort, and that's gonna give them another modifier like 25 or something like that. Also, as you can see here, we have plus 50% for negative prestige. You should be careful of here as well, because of the states you got negative prestige, so be careful with that prestige as well. You can be able to gain it back from a couple of wars with the Teutoning Order and Novgorod, so it's not gonna be a problem there. You should be able to get it up. And this fucking music is annoying. Give me a second here. Next song. Like, I swear to God, man. Right, next song. This is just fucking depressing, man. Now this is just... Now this should do it, man. For fuck's sake, man. Those songs are fucking annoying. I swear to God, man. Like, it's like somebody's fucking screeching my ear. Sorry. No more rants, but I should have disabled that DLC. Really crappy DLC on songs, if I say so myself. Now, Novgorod here. Here on Novgorod, if I want to spend some diplo points and kill off the border with Muscovy, so I can actually border Muscovy, and let's say, though it's gonna be a little bit difficult, this, and this should be taken, so I can border off Muscovy, and this has this. It's problematic to take all of them, but it's better than nothing, if I say so myself. Whether you'd want to feed them to Sweden or feed them to Sweden, it's up to you. You can fabricate claims on nothing, so Sweden will have to fabricate claims on them if at all possible. So you might want to feed some claims to Sweden. Probably the claim Neva should be fed to Sweden, so you can attack with that. Perhaps Sweden is gonna build some claims depending on the situation here, and if you actually they are your rival, right? So their rival Sweden might be able to build some claims on Novgorod, and you can attack more with those claims. But I recommend trying to kill off the border that Novgorod has with Muscovy, so that Muscovy will not be able to expand into Novgorod with that help. So that means that you can actually kill Muscovy, no, not kill, but stop the expansion of Muscovy and their gain of this fortress here. Basically, you don't want them to get the fortress in Novgorod and in Neva, simply because they have plenty of fortresses. As you can see right now, they have what? 3 forts, 4, 5, 6 forts basically. 6 forts that you actually have to kill. If you actually colocate Pskov as well, 7 forts. 2 of them being level 3, right? Yeah. Oh no, sorry, my bad. So it's a vassal, right? So 3 of them being level 3. So fighting off Moscow is gonna be difficult, which is not that great. You can pull off many strategies here. If you look at the culture, where is my culture here? You'll see that this is a Muscovite culture, so to some degree you can actually release a vassal from here, for example. Let's say Pskov, make a vassal from Pskov and start feeding lands to Pskov from Novgorod and Muscovy. Again, this is tricky and I don't know how to put it off, but simply it's gonna be a little bit difficult to fight off those forts. There's nothing I can do to tell you how you should pull it off. Probably try to first siege Pskov, then take care of the fort here in Novgorod, keep the fort here in Novgorod under under Sweden, so that Moscow will not be able to go up, so you can actually safeguard your flank. Again, it depends on your own military prowess and how you should be able to pull this off. But this is part of the let's say late game. You should actually focus on Moscow earlier on. You should focus on Novgorod, so try to take as many lands that border Moscow so that they won't gain, especially forts. Like, you don't want them to get any forts. Like, I'm gonna say it again, you don't want them to get any forts, because that's gonna be problematic for you. So most likely just get Neva, Novgorod, let's say, it doesn't matter, Tinkham, this, and this, and that is gonna help you safeguard yourself against Muscovy. Even if you play some Diplo points there, it's still manageable. Next target is the Livonian Order. Same as with Teutonic Order, they have their ally with sorry, they're gonna join the Teutonic Order in the war, so you're gonna have to piss them out separately. They have plenty of forts, which is annoying. As you can see here, they have a couple of forts, so my recommendation to you is to actually just take either Narva, Osel, although Osel, so take Narva or Osel, even Reval I think is a better choice as well to kill one of their forts, but still, either force piss them out when you declare war on the Teutons, or just piss them out separately, or just piss them out and take one of the provinces, probably Reval, so you can actually fabricate more claims. Then vassal feed, either feed more lands, feed them to Sweden, or create another vassal. Unfortunately, you already have 3 vassals, which is not that great, which is really gonna hurt you, because you're gonna have to balance a lot more troops. So again, you have to have a balance between Diplo and admin. Like, if you pay too much admin, you're not gonna be able to get the influence faster. If you have too many vassals, they might rebel and they're gonna cause problems. So it depends there. Now, let's switch off to the next target here, which is basically East Frisia, if they still exist. Now, with East Frisia, there might be some advantages if you attack Frisia, although it's gonna cost you a decent amount of points and aggressive expansion. I repeat, it's gonna cost you a decent amount of aggressive expansion. You can probably take either Utrecht, Gerle, and anybody that actually allied East Frisia, so you can actually be able to move against Burgundy earlier on. It depends on the situation. To some point, if you actually want to move faster into Burgundy and you can become the HRD Emperor really quickly, it's recommended that you actually go into East Frisia and Utrecht, for example, really fast, so you can actually kill off Burgundy, declare war on Burgundy and become the HRD Emperor, get the Burgundian inheritance. That kind of stuff is doable, but still, it's kind of problematic, depends on your own luck. Now, Teutonic Order, Novgorod, Livonian Order, again, after you finish all the Teutonic Order, Livonian Order should be attacking a separate war, take lands from them, again, depending on the situation. So let's do a recap. Teutonic Order, Novgorod, Livonian Order. If the truce is over, remember, if the truce is over, go Livonian Order. If it's not, go for East Frisia and this guys if he's still alive. If it's not, go for Riga, for example, though Riga actually allies Lubeck. At this point in time, you might be able to get provinces, the province of Lubeck if you want, and the province of Hamburg, depends on who is part of the league here, the trade league of the Hanseatic League, as it's known in the in history. So what's it called, history? They're kind of big, unfortunately, but you'll be able to gain a huge amount of trade power. But again, you're gonna get a huge amount of aggressive expansion as well. So it's a double-edged sword at best. So try to be careful with that. So your next target should be Scotland. Now Scotland is quite fucked. It's quite fucked. It's weak. They have I don't know, 13,000 troops, any of that sort, and the mission. God fucking damn it! I'm not gonna try to stay in. This is just bullshit, man. Like, that music sucks. Anyway, Scotland has 13,000 troops, if I'm not mistaken, 13k. Scotland, 13k troops, as I said before. So you moving into them is quite easy. You have 16,000 at this point in time. So you should be able to move into Scotland quite fast from the Orkney and just move in, take everything. You don't even actually have to fight naval battles because you don't want to waste your troops, but there is some problems here, mainly because they are guaranteed by France and they may actually ally France later on, but France is not going to be able to switch that many troops over to Scotland, which is going to be great for you. Right, they're gonna, if they're at war with England, if they don't take their course back, they're gonna have, let's say, some transport ships, maybe 6, maybe 8. 8 is too much, I think. If I look now at France for navies, France has 14 in total with 8 transports, 2 heavies and 2 light ships. So basically the heavies are gonna pose a problem, but the transports, even if they want to send in, you can actually try to massacre with your big number of ships as well. Again, you're gonna have 40 troops, 40 ships. You can actually massacre them to some degree. Even if you lose ships, once you integrate whole, sorry, you have 47 ships. Once you actually integrate Holstein, you're gonna get your ships back. So it really doesn't matter what you do with them. As for partitioning Scotland, it's quite easy. First off, break their alliance with England, then try to take some lands that actually border England. My recommendation is Inverness. You can actually release Geldom from here as well. If you look at the culture here, they're part of the same culture as Ireland, so you can actually feed the Irish miners to these guys. Although, let it be noted that the Irish miners are gonna boost up their development to quite a huge amount, to the point where they double or triple it in 50 years, depending on what kind of leader they have. So you might want to actually keep those states here, so you can actually have 2 states that have a huge amount of development. As you can see, there are 5 provinces here, no, 5 provinces here and 4 provinces here. They're gonna get a huge amount of development if they are left to their own devices. Let that be noted, by being able to use this as, let's say, a granary for points, for development, sorry. And you're going to take this so you can actually fabricate on England. Then, depending on the situation, ally either Burgundy, ally France if they still like you, because you are worried them when you attack Scotland, and finish off England. Although, because you're gonna be able to move, let's say, from Inverness to Ayrshire, if you want to take Ayrshire as well, depending on how much points it'll cost you, you'll be able to move in England by land. They have a force limit of 32, and they have about 24,000 troops available. I don't need to check the ledger. I know England by like the palm of my hand, so I played England so many times. So it's 32 with 24. You should be able to squash them earlier on, especially if you actually integrate Holstein and you get some more development from here, so you can get more troops. So you should be able to squash England quite fast, even with without using any ships, because you have a way into the English mainland. So there's not going to be any issues for debarking, for example. Let's say that this will, let's say, take you 50 years. Again, some problems may arise. Alliances of Novgorod with Poland might happen. It's possible. Or let's say with Poland or Lithuania, if it actually breaks free, or it doesn't get into a peer with Poland as well. Problems here might be Scotland, alliance with perhaps Burgundy, though it rarely happens. Scotland usually gets wrecked. Alliance with an Irish miner as well can be problematic, because they're gonna get in more troops and they're gonna outnumber you, because these guys won't be able to switch their troops over to that side of Scotland beforehand, so that's gonna be problematic as well. But for the small expansion in the start, there are not gonna be any more problems. Problem starts when you actually want to take over England, which I recommend actually doing with, let's say, this guy here, with Northumberland and vassal feeding. At this point in time, when you're actually moving to England, Norway should have been already annexed, so does Holstein. When you move heavily into Holstein, should be annexed a long time ago, but it should probably be the 50 years that you need to annex Norway, if you don't inherit them. Now, to annex Norway, you need to have more provinces than they have, So basically, they have what, 15? So yeah, so they need to have more provinces. They have 15 and you have 10, so you have to integrate Holstein first with some provinces that you get from the Teutonic Order, from the Livonian Order, Novgorod as well, Scotland. You'll be able to get to a decent amount of provinces, so that's not an issue there. So you actually annex this, guys, and now you have to decide where you want to move. The problematic countries that you can face are Muscovy. As I said before, they're going to be problematic with the winter as well, with the heavy amount of forts and vassals. You should wait until Muscovy is at war with somebody, so that you can actually declare war on Muscovy and do a two-front war, basically. God fucking damn it, sorry. It's really pissing me off. And Muscovy is gonna be at war with Golden Horde, Kazan. Whoever is gonna be at war with this side here, just backstab them, take their lands, and make a vassal here. Either if you want to make a vassal from Tver, Yaroslav, it's your call, whoever you want to actually make into a vassal. With England, we already talked about England. Northumberland is a good choice, and keep on vassal thing. At this point in time, if you're the HRE Emperor, if you became the HRE Emperor and you had enough luck, you might have become the HRE Emperor and got the Bulgarian inheritance. Again, it depends on your own luck. I had the Teutonic campaign, the Revenge of the Templars, the Prussian campaign, the Teutonic Order. Austria got the Bulgarian lands in like 1450. Like 6 years happened, the Bulgarian inheritance fired. 6 years, it was huge. Austria was fucking huge. It had some bugs, again, it doesn't matter. But if you had that event fire, the expansion into England should be faster. But at the same time, you're gonna get the aggressive. You're gonna have France that wants to kill you. Same goes for England. So, if you get the Burgundian inheritance to fire for you, I recommend rivaling France and keeping England as an ally, so they can embark troops and help you fight off France. Then later on kill England, simply because you need the help of England to beat off France, because they're, of course, the big blue blob. At the same time, you can actually get some help from Austria, Castile, Aragon, depending on the situation. So, if the HRE Burgundian inheritance fires and you're the HRE Emperor, fight off France first, then England. And Scotland doesn't matter. You can move into Scotland or later on, although it does not really matter. Now, at this point in time, if this is done the right way and you actually took over England with the first option, and if you're the HRE Emperor with France, and took over some part of France and then focused on England, and taken most of the lands from Muscovy, you should probably be in the late game. I would say that 150 years have passed until you have taken half of France, perhaps up until here, and half of England, I'll say even most of England, and taken over Scotland. It depends. If it will take 100 years with the first option to move to Scotland, then England, then France. If you're the HRE Emperor, it's gonna take you 100 years to go to France, and half of France and half of England, then some of Scotland as well, depending on the situation. But it should be the same with Muscovy. You should have taken all of Muscovy by now. Notable enemies are Poland, which I recommend avoiding. It's more important that you become the HRE Emperor, and if they have a pew with Lithuania and they try to form the Commonwealth, try to get a leader on their throne, then basically just get a pew with Poland forcefully, then actually annex Poland. Again, this is more advanced tactics. They're quite easy to pull off. Again, it depends on your luck. If you want to fight off Poland, go ahead. Although they are not that important, I would say. They have a huge amount of troops. You're gonna waste troops. At the same time, you're gonna waste troops. You're gonna waste time, which can be better spent killing off the bigger players in Muscovy, England, France, so you can actually focus on their sides. At the same time, they can be easily integrated with the forceful union later on if you can actually pull it off, but you should have time to pull it off. So there's no reason for you to actually waste time and manpower on Poland. They might actually fight off Austria, Hungary. They might fight actually Hungary, Austria-Hungary as well if they get a PU. Again, they're gonna be left to their own devices. At the same time, they are gonna check the power of the Ottomans, and that is more important. You don't want the Ottomans to be really powerful in the late game, and leaving somebody to check the power of the Ottomans is really important, and Poland might just do that if given enough time. Also, let it be noted that you might want to basically go for the New World. Follow my guide to the path of exploration and expansion, and you should be fine. Although, depending on how much problem Castile has, they might not even move into the New World. Again, it depends on your luck. There's not much to say here, it all depends on your luck. But yeah, let's go for a short recap so you can actually go from top to bottom. Teutonic Order, followed by Novgorod, followed by another war in Livonian Order if the truce is over. If not, go for Oldenburg, then Utrecht if you can. If Oldenburg is dead, just leave it up there, you cannot do anything. Then go for the Teutonic or the Livonian Order. Take Riga as well if they're still allied, because you need Riga. If not, the CB Riga and declare war on Riga so they can call in Lubeck and the other Hanseatic League members. But remember, if you take lands from the HRE with no CB, you're gonna get a huge amount of gross expansion, and that's not gonna be good. It's gonna stop you from becoming a HRE Emperor. Then move over to Scotland, then some other wars on Novgorod if they're still alive. Then England, Muscovy. It depends on your choice, depending on situation. Try to make sure they're tangling the war, so that it's gonna be easy. Then move over to France, the Irish miners, the New World as well. And if you're finished off Moscow, we go easily into Kazan, Golden Horde. This is gonna be really easy to squash and pull off. If you actually go into this guys here, it's gonna be really easy to pull off. Other than this, if you are the HRE Emperor, remember, try to aim for a Bulgarian inheritance with the HRE Emperorship. If you can pull it off, focus on France instead of England, and ally England so you can finish off France. Then focus on England and focus on France at the same time, and ally Aragon, Castile to get some more oomph against France. England should be invaded through Scotland, because you can have the land connection through Scotland, so that the English mainland can be killed easily. But yeah, this is the actual situation and guide of Denmark. Sorry, not of Denmark. Of Denmark. It's a really easy nation to play. In this patch, Sweden is really, let's say, easy to keep in check. And you're big enough power so that you can actually control a huge amount of land. But yeah, this was the expansion guide. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you enjoyed it, consider liking, subscribing, commenting. I really want feedback to see how the channel is going, and if you want me to make some tweaks or just change something altogether, I'm open to suggestions. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time, guys. Ciao.